Malik answered calmly, trying to keep the tension low. "Is there a problem, officer? Just respond to the questions," Mendoza said, his hand drifting closer to his belt. Malik took a slow breath, reminding himself of his father's words. "Stay calm, do not give them a reason." "I am a lawyer," he said, hoping that would close the matter. "I have an appointment in about an hour. So if there is nothing else," Kirkland's smirk. "Came back a lawyer, huh? That is interesting." Malik felt the air shift around them, the uneasiness getting heavier. "Look, officer, I have done nothing wrong. I am only trying to reach work." Kirkland ignored him. "Mind if we take a look inside your car?" Malik's stomach tightened. He had nothing to hide, but he knew how quickly things could go wrong. "I would rather you did not," Malik said carefully. "I need to get moving." Kirkland stepped closer, his hand brushing against the baton on his hip. "Step away from the car." Malik paused a moment too long. Suddenly Kirkland grabbed his arm, twisting it behind his back. The pain sharp and instant. Malik winced, but tried to keep his tone even. "What are you doing?" he asked. Mendoza rushed forward, forcing Malik to the ground, pressing his knee into Malik's back. "You are under arrest for resisting arrest." Kirkland's voice was cold, without any emotion. Malik's mind spun. This could not be real. He had done nothing wrong. Absolutely nothing. And yet here he was face down on the pavement, handcuffs biting into his wrists. A small group had gathered, people watching in shock. A young woman across the street. She was recording everything on her phone. Malik caught her eye, and for a moment felt hope. Maybe this would help. Maybe the video would show the truth. But at this moment, as he was dragged up and shoved into the back of a police vehicle, Malik knew the fight was far from done. The police station was cold, empty, and suffocating. Malik was led through the booking area, his hands still cuffed behind his back. His suit creased from the struggle. He kept his head upright, refusing to let them see him. "Broken name?" the officer behind the desk asked, without raising his head from the computer. "Malik Edwards," Kirkland said. Before Malik had the chance, the officer typed it in his eyes, shifting to Malik then back to Kirkland. Something felt off. But the officer said nothing. He only signaled toward the holding cell. Malik was fingerprinted, photographed, and led to a small, dirty cell at the back of the building. The door shut with a final clang that made his chest sink. He sat on the bench, staring at the chipped walls, trying to make sense of what just happened. How could this happen? How could someone like him, someone who had worked hard to create a life, to achieve success, end up here? Hours dragged on. The silence was broken only by footsteps in the hallway. Malik kept his posture steady, but his mind was racing. What would follow? Would anyone believe his story? Later the mood in the station shifted. Officer Kirkland walked the halls, when a younger officer, someone Malik had seen in passing, stopped him. "Kirkland, you know who you just arrested, right?" Kirkland shrugged. "Just another man, causing problems." The younger officer shook his head. "No, that man is not just anyone. He is a civil rights lawyer. One of the biggest in the city. I saw his name in the news last week. He was involved in big cases." Kirkland froze. "You must be joking." "I am not. You better be careful. If word spreads you arrested him without cause, this could explode in your face." Kirkland's smirk faded, for the first time doubt creeping in. Did he make a mistake? He would not admit it. But worry took root. Outside the station, the crowd grew. What started with a few people watching became something larger. Word traveled fast through the neighborhood. Soon dozens stood outside, demanding answers. They shouted Malik's name. They held signs for justice, and recorded every detail on their phones. Malik's mother, a strong woman who raised him to be brave, stood at the front of the crowd. Her face was tight with anger, her voice loud and firm. She knew her son did not belong in that cell. She would not let this pass. The media soon caught the story, and reporters gathered. This was no longer local. It was becoming a full public scandal. Inside, the officers felt the heat. Lieutenant Ramirez, she knew at the station, only for a few months, watched from her office window. She knew the moment she heard Malik's name. Something was wrong. "This will get messy," she muttered, pacing her small office. She knew action was needed quickly. Hours later, Malik heard the door creak. Ramirez appeared, her face calm but unreadable. "Mr. Edwards," she said formally. "You are free to go." Malik rose slowly, his body stiff from the hard bench. He did not speak while following her through the station, past officers who avoided his eyes. He felt their shame, their discomfort when they reached the front doors. Malik saw the crowd outside. They cheered the moment he appeared, their voices strong and united. But Malik stayed composed. He knew this was far from finished. Ramirez hesitated, then spoke quietly. "I am sorry for what happened today. It should not have taken place." Malik met her gaze, his tone steady. "You are right, it should not have." He stepped out into his mother's arms, embraced by his people. Cameras flashed, reporters shouted, but Malik ignored them. He knew the true fight had only begun. In the days ahead, media attention and legal action swept the city. Malik's wrongful arrest dominated the headlines. Everywhere, the bystander footage spread fast, sparking debates about racial profiling, misconduct, and justice. Kirkland and Mendoza were put on leave while under investigation. But Malik wanted more. He filed a lawsuit, determined to hold the department accountable. The city was split. Some stood by the police. Others saw Malik's arrest as another mark of the racism that plagued the nation. But Malik would not bend. He had spent his career fighting for justice. Now it was his personal fight. Months passed, and the trial began. The courtroom packed with tension. Malik sat with his team, his expression calm but sharp. Kirkland and Mendoza gave testimony, trying to explain their actions, but their words collapsed under the proof. The footage, the witnesses, the truth. Malik had done nothing wrong. When the verdict came, the courtroom erupted. Malik won, the department was held guilty, and Kirkland and Mendoza lost their jobs. But Malik felt the victory bittersweet. He won the case. But the fight was far from over.